In this video, we'll be taking a look at 3 college football games happening on September 10, 2022. Welcome back to Cash Out Sports. Let's dive right into it. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe and to click the bell icon to get notified as soon as these videos get released so that you have more time to plan out your bets as we provide these videos on a daily basis. I can guarantee that you'll have all the important information that you'll need on these 3 college football games after fully watching this video. One more thing before we start. If you would like to gain access to our best exclusive betting picks to take your sports betting journey to the next level, then check out our Patreon in the link down below where we offer anywhere from 1 betting pick a day up to 10 betting picks a day and much more. Now let's get started. Kennesaw State versus Cincinnati. The Kennesaw State Owls and Cincinnati Bearcats meet Saturday in Week 2 college football action at Nippert Stadium. The Kennesaw State Owls look for a win after losing their opener to Samford. The Cincinnati Bearcats look for a win after losing their opener to Arkansas. The Kennesaw State Owls have won 5 of their last 8 road games. Xavier Shepard is completing 38.4% of his passes for 135 yards, 0 touchdowns, and 1 interception. Lakeem Farrow and Chavi Marshall have combined for 110 receiving yards on 2 catches, while Gabri Benyard has 1 reception. The Kennesaw State Owls' ground game is averaging 193 yards per contest, and Presto Daniels leads the way with 64 yards and 1 touchdown. Defensively, Kennesaw State is allowing 27 points and 402 yards per game. Garland Benyard leads the Kennesaw State Owls with 7 tackles. Carrick Reese has 1 sack, and Jekari Burks has 2 pass deflections. The Cincinnati Bearcats haven't lost a home game since November 2017. Ben Bryant is completing 60.5% of his passes for 325 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 1 interception. Tyler Scott and Tree Tucker have combined for 143 receiving yards on 9 catches, while Charles McClelland has 4 receptions. The Cincinnati Bearcats' ground game is averaging 113 yards per contest, and Corey Kiner leads the way with 59 yards and 1 touchdown. Defensively, Cincinnati is allowing 31 points and 447 yards per game. Ivan Pace Jr. leads the Cincinnati Bearcats with 12 tackles. Jaquan Shepard has 1 sack, and Jabari Taylor has 1 forced fumble. The Owls are 0-4 against the spread in their last 4 road games. The Bearcats are 4-1 against the spread in their last 5 home games and 0-4 against the spread versus a team with a losing record. The under is 5-0 in Owls' last 5 games overall. The under is 6-2-1 in Bearcats' last 9 games overall. The Kennesaw State Owls have had issues over the years stepping up in competition, and this is another one of those spots. Kennesaw State is just here to collect the check and go home. The Cincinnati Bearcats have been one of the best home teams in college football over the last 5 years, and they can take a lot of positives, pushing a ranked Arkansas club to its limits. With no look-ahead spot on the schedule, this should be a comfortable win for the Bearcats. So the Cincinnati Bearcats to win and cover the spread as favorites is our full game side pick. Maryland versus Charlotte. The Maryland Terrapins are looking to continue picking up wins as they picked up a 31-10 home victory over the Buffalo Bulls. Junior quarterback Talia Tagovailoa had a decent game as he finished 24 of 34 for 290 yards with an interception. The Charlotte 49ers are still looking to pick up their first win of the season as they are currently 0-2 on the season as they lost at home 41-24 against the William and Mary Tribe. Freshman quarterback Xavier Williams should be the starter for this game as he went 1-2 of 23 for 201 yards through the air while also running the ball 10 times for 48 yards with a pair of rushing touchdowns. Maryland had some bright spots last season, ultimately finishing 7-6 overall and 3-6 in a tough Big Ten. The Terrapins landed in 5th place in the East Division and got an invite to the Pinstripe Bowl. Maryland took out Virginia in a 54-10 blowout during that game. In the matchup versus Buffalo, Maryland scored in every quarter on the way to a 31-10 victory. QB Talia Tagovailoa managed 290 yards and a pick on 2-4 of 3-4 passing, and Roman Hemby led the rushers with 114 yards and 2 scores. And Wayne Littleton also scored twice on 6 rushes. Over on the Charlotte side, they played Florida Atlantic back on August 27th in their season opener. The 49ers gave up points in every quarter during a tough 43-17 loss. QB Chris Reynolds put up 196 yards and 2 scores, while Grant Dubose had 89 yards and both touchdown grabs from 4 catches. In the Friday matchup versus William and Mary, Charlotte coughed up 21 points in the fourth quarter on the way to a 41-24 defeat. QB Xavier Williams managed 201 yards with 1-2 of 2-3 passing and also led the rush with 10 totes for 48 yards and 2 scores. The major difference between these programs have been on the defensive side of the ball. If you dive into last season as well, the Terrapins have allowed just 12 points per game in their last 3 games, while the 49ers have given up a whopping 47 points per game in their previous 4 games. Tagovailoa has been a more consistent quarterback than Williams, and I can see Maryland draining the clock with Hemby later in the game when they have a big lead to get the game over with. Dubose is going to get locked up a bit in this game, and the Charlotte offense is going to be stagnant as a result. That said, the Terrapins' offense wasn't quite as dominant as it probably should have been. Maryland collected 446 total yards against Buffalo in the opener, but went a sketchy 4 of 1-3 on third downs, posted just 16 first downs, and held the ball for only 27-7. The 8 penalties didn't really help either. As for Charlotte, they've got a lot to clean up after their Week 1 collapse. The 49ers committed 9 penalties for 83 yards and were outscored 24-7 in the second half. Charlotte should pull it together a little better here, but they won't cover. So the Maryland Terrapins to win and cover the spread as favorites is our full game side pick. Charlotte's offense has not been doing too hot as they are averaging 18 points per game in the early stages of the season. The biggest thing is the fact that these teams are more used to more methodical drives than quick scores, so that means there will be a great chance for time to go off of the clock. If you get a couple of punts in this game, you are immediately sweating the total if you take the over. The under has hit in 6 of the last 7 Terrapins games in September, as well as in 4 of the previous 5 49ers non-conference games. Under the projected total is our full game total pick. Furman versus Clemson. The Furman Paladins and the Clemson Tigers meet Saturday in college football action from Clemson Memorial Stadium. Furman is coming off their opener versus North Greenville. In that matchup, the Paladins took a blowout win. As for Clemson, they played Georgia Tech on Monday. The Tigers posted a blowout victory in that matchup. Furman had a mediocre season in 2021. The Paladins would ultimately finish 6-5 overall and 4-4 in Southern Conference play. That result would put Furman in 5th place in the conference standings alongside Western Carolina and VMI. In their first game of the 2022 season versus North Greenville, Furman jumped out to a wild 45-0 lead at halftime and cruised to the 52-0 win. Quarterback Tyler Huff managed 189 yards and 2 scores while also leading the rush with 5 carries for 94 yards and another touchdown. Over on the Clemson side, they managed a 10-3 run overall last season with a 6-2 mark in Atlantic Coast Conference play. The Tigers finished in 3rd place in the Atlantic Division. Clemson got an invite to the Cheez-It Bowl, where they took out Iowa 20-13. The Tigers played Georgia Tech in their first game this year. In that one, Clemson scored double-digit points in each of the final 3 quarters during a 41-10 victory. Quarterback DJ Uiagalelei posted 209 yards, 1 pass score, and a rush touchdown, while Shipley added 42 yards on the ground and 2 touchdowns. The Paladins have very little hope of winning this game. That said, Furman got some solid reps in against overmatched competition in their opener and should have some confidence heading into Week 2. The Paladins managed 589 total yards with 27 first downs, 0 turnovers, and just 2 penalties. As for Clemson, they had a relatively tepid 14-3 lead at halftime in Week 1 but scored 27 more points after the break in a nice overall performance. The Tigers weren't great on third downs, but otherwise there wasn't much to complain about in the opener. That said, this line is thick enough for the Paladins to sneak in there during this next matchup. So the Furman Paladins to cover the spread as underdogs is our full game side pick. That's all for now, so if you have any other games you would like reviewed, then leave a comment down below with the game you would like analyzed. Subscribe to our channel, leave a like on this video, and we'll get to it as soon as we possibly can. We would also love to hear your opinion on the picks presented to you in this video, whether you agree or disagree with them, so leave a comment down below and do let us know.